Introducing, hosting from the Portuguese section of Massachusetts, representing those that choose the Sioux, representing for all his boys mocked because they can't see colors. The man, the king, the motherfucking god of this pod, Matt Souza.
Hosting from the taint of America, representing that fuck, marry, kill game, representing for all the dudes in the group chat, Central Time, representing the motherfucking Late Club, it's Gen DK.
North-South Connection and Maddie Souza. Hi, welcome to Gcdub, a game-changing podcast. My name is Jennifer Smith. I'm here with my wonderful co-host, Matt Souza. How are you, Matt?
I'm good, Jenny. I am here. It is a new year. We have new GCW stuff. We got a lot of stuff to talk about that we haven't. We haven't talked about yet. A lot of big stuff going on. So I'm looking forward to diving in here to talk about the all the happenings, I think is what they say.
I think the kids do call them happenings.
Right, the happenings.
Yes.
The kids. I'm down with the kids, as they say.
I know you are.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. That was only a little bit problematic, but it's fine.
It's fine.
And we are going to talk about what has come to pass and what has yet come to pass for GCW. Very interesting start to the new year, and there's, like you said, a lot to talk about. And let's get into it. What do we got for results from January? Or I think we're going back to December.
We're going back to December because we're going back to December 9th, which may as well be 7 fucking years ago.
When was that? I have no memory of this date.
I'm told it was. There's a month, I guess, called December. I don't know.
Never heard of it.
Sounds fake to me, but
yeah.
This was highest in the room from LA on December 9th. We had Jordan Oliver beat Alec Price. Deathmatch Royalty and Jimmy Lloyd defeated Los Macizos and Lil Cholo. A DLC Scramble, which I think is doors, ladders, and chairs.
Mm-hmm.
Ninja Mac defeated One Called Manders, Bodie Young Prodigy, Cole Radrick, Dark Sheik, Mr. Danger, and Oni El Bendito. Santana Jackson defeated George South. Violence is Forever defended the tag titles successfully against Masha Slamovich and Rina Yamashita. Big Fucking Joe defeated Sawyer Wreck. The South Pacific Savages beat Effy and Mance Warner. Blake Christian defended the world title against Starboy Charlie. There's a lot of matches on this show. Good Lord. Johnny Game Changer and Taya Valkyrie beat Maki Death Kill. And in the main event, Andrade El Idolo defeated Joey Janela. So, the big happening on this show was the Mance Warner heel turn.
Yes.
Where he turned on Effy and the shit hit the fan and became an ultra heel in about 5 minutes. So,
thoughts on that?
Look, we all know how much I'm a Mance Warner mark.
You are.
If it means he gets a monster push, I'm all for it.
Okay.
Like if this ends with him being world champion, like sign me up.
Starting with Effy to eventually end up the world champion. That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, a way to turn monster heel is to go against somebody like Effy.
Right.
So that was smart, I thought. But yeah, a surprise, not unwelcome because I love me some heels and I love some Mance. So like, dude, this bodes well, I think, for him.
Oh, and like you said, I mean, there's only one other person they could have turned him against to get him over like crazy, and that would have been if they'd done it against Gage. But like if you're not going to do it against Gage, Effy's a hell of a next choice. So because everybody loves Effy, rightfully so. So I mean, it's good for Mance, you know.
So I'm going to ask you this now because I've kind of been thinking about this over the day. This is sort of like, part of a long-term storytelling that they're going to do here
Hmm.
in GCW, which we've had. We've talked about the storytelling before in GCW, and that sometimes it's good and we like it because there's minimal
Hmm.
storytelling. There's just a bunch of cool matches that we get to see. But then we do have some stories weaved in to
Hmm.
this. And do you feel like does this legitimize GCW? Is it show some sophistication and some growth in the promotion to have a big turn like this and with somebody like Effie?
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about it before. It feels like they have like one major story that goes on, and then the rest is just matches, kind of like what you mentioned. So, I, I kind of like that they do it that way because they, as far as like storytelling goes, they can focus on just that one thing as far as telling a story, rather than getting bogged down with some of the lower card guys, like I don't know, like a Mr. Danger. I'm just looking at the list here. I just threw
Right,
his
right, right.
like you don't have to worry about necessarily him having some sort of story, or an Alec Price or somebody like that.
Mhm,
So
mhm,
I like that they can basically put their whole ass into this one thing.
mhm.
Like it's a thing. It's the old Ron Swanson line. Whole ass one thing.
One
Don't
thing.
half ass two things.
I
You
got
know.
you. I got
So
you.
I kind of like that. It's different for a wrestling promotion to really just have one big storyline going and then nothing else. But I think we've seen it a little bit with like the Charles Mason stuff with Alley Catch last
Well,
year.
I was going to mention that story. I was going to mention also the developing, sort of ongoing um, Matt Cardona and Jimmy Lloyd, Stephanie
Hmm.
Lander, and they've got that. That's a story, and I think
Yeah.
Matt brings stories
Hmm.
and storylines with him. So we're kind of in a way balancing a couple of things
Yeah.
here, but it's sort of paced out.
Right.
It's not every show where
Right.
you get
This
storyline stuff.
this Mance Warner Effie thing, to me, it feels like it's going to go on for a little
I feel
while.
like that way too.
Whereas I feel like the Matt Cardona thing, the big thing has happened with Jimmy becoming Broski Jimmy. And I
Mhm,
feel like it's probably going to stay that way for a while before you see
mhm.
like the next step in that story.
I think so too.
So,
They seem to be very long-term
yeah.
storytellers.
Yep.
So you kind of and I think that's because you get these guys in and out of the promotion. You
Right.
can't really do I don't mean to say you can't, but it seems more difficult to do something with the indie guys because
Right.
you don't have all of them on every show.
Mhm. Especially a guy like Cardona. I mean, he wrestles everywhere.
Exactly,
Like he's
exactly.
not at every GCW show. It's
Mhm.
impossible for him to be at everyone because he's doing NWA. He's doing I think he's in Puerto Rico for doing some show in Puerto Rico in a couple of weeks. So I mean, he's all over the place. So
Did you get to see the main event for that? Andrade and Joey Janela?
I did not. I was only able to skim through this show. I saw the Mance Warner stuff, and I saw up to the world title match. I didn't see the last two matches.
Okay, yeah. I was going back and watching matches today, and that was one of the ones that I missed.
Hmm.
It's a little bit longer of a match, 28
Yeah.
minutes, almost 29. So I'll have to go back and do that one. I'm interested in Andrade
Yeah.
GCW.
That could be
Um,
something.
but look, I love Charlotte, so there's
Right.
a connection there.
I,
So
I
I
don't.
can figure it out.
I don't. I wonder if that's going to be like a one and done type of thing because he's not. Unless I completely spaced it out, I don't think he's on the rest of the shows we're going to talk about tonight, and
I don't think so either.
I don't think he's advertised for anything coming up. So maybe it was like a one and done type of deal just to get him
That's what
in.
I was
And
thinking. Like, I definitely need to put that on my list to watch since it's
yeah,
probably not going to happen a lot
right.
for him. All right, what's our next show?
We go to the junkyard in Mexico,
Mm,
which is a literal junkyard. GCW versus Zona 23. Zona 23 is a Mexican deathmatch promotion that has their shows at a literal junkyard, which is
nice.
fucking insane. This was on December 10th. We had Big Fucking Joe defeat Lunatic Extreme. These are all death matches, by the way. Big Fucking Joe defeated Lunatic Extreme. Arrow Boy beat Bam Sullivan. Cyclope defeated Lunatic Fly. Vengaza defeated Miedo Extremo. The Zona 23 title, Cyberpunk defeated Jimmy Lloyd. Rina Yamashita defended the Ultraviolent title against, I'm going to butcher this name, Ludark Shatane. And the main event in a death match, Pagano defeated John Wayne Murdoch. I skimmed through this show a little bit too, and the vibe is a hell of a thing for this show.
Yeah.
This show being in a literal junkyard, they're using like windshields and shit from cars as weapons. This is right up your alley, Jenny. I'm telling you.
I feel like this one flew under the radar a little bit because
Yeah.
I don't recall anybody.
I think this
Maybe
is
I was
one of
busy this weekend. Also,
I think this is one of those shows like it aired on tape delay. I don't think it aired live.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of why it got lost. And also, it's December. Who can remember anything that happened in December? Everybody's busy in December. So
that looks like a fun ass card, though. And anything in a junkyard setting is really interesting to me.
It's wild. Like it's that grime you want from GCW taken like to another level. It's wild.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
The Junkyard Mexico. It's an amazing title. All right, what was the next show?
We go to December 21st and the holiday special from Ridgefield Park, New Jersey. Gringo Loco defeated Azrael. Masha Slamovich defeated One Called Manders. Jordan Oliver defended the JCW title against Braden Toon. Mike Santana defeated Alec Price. The Rich and the Powerful, which is Charles Mason and Richard Holiday, defeated Bobby Flacco and Jeffrey John. Joey Janela defeated Marcus Mathers. Mike Bailey defeated now Broski Jimmy, which is Jimmy Lloyd. And in the main event, Blake Christian defended the world title against Santa Claus.
Santa Claus.
Right.
Yeah. Okay.
Santa Claus, who looked nothing like Big Vin, 911's kid.
Oh, okay. Well, good thing for that.
Right,
Did you get to watch any of that?
I saw a little bit of it because I was inside baseball. I had jury duty on this day, so I was home. I was home early, so I was able to watch some the next day. Rather, I was able to watch some of this the next day. Mike Santana and Alec Price was really good. Santana was in AEW with Ortiz. He's a good wrestler. He's a local guy, so that match was really fun. Genoa. I just can't talk is what's happening here. I think I'm having a stroke, Jenny. Send help. Joey Janela.
911, go to Maddie's house.
Joey Janela defeated Marcus Mathers. That match was very fun, very good. Broski Jimmy is going to be very entertaining to see Jimmy Lloyd dressed up in this Zack Ryder type of gear. It's a hell of a thing. It's very funny. And the match with Speedball was very good. And Blake Christian maybe doing the most heelish thing ever by beating the shit out of Santa Claus 4 days before Christmas.
Gotta love Blake Christian. Oh, he's awesome.
He got the main event against Santa Claus.
I mean, who can say that? Honestly, Hulk Hogan can't say that. Surely,
Randy Savage has never wrestled Santa.
Savage has never wrestled Santa. Blake Christian, greatest champ of all time.
He's Bruno, I think.
Gotta be right.
Yeah.
I feel like we're coming to a point where maybe around Mania time, we're looking at a title change. I'm not sure what your thoughts are on that.
It's coming. I can feel it too. I think it's coming.
Who's our contenders?
I mean, we'll get to it later, but you got Mance Warner.
Okay,
I mean,
Mance.
I have not a theory, but I have an idea that I'll get to when we talk about another show.
Okay.
Later on, as far as what they can do with the world title, but I mean, you could always go back to Gage if you want to have Gage just fucking destroy Blake Christian in like 10 minutes or something before Mania. But
I don't hate that. I feel like there's something here that I can't quite like. It might be Mance. It might be that thing that I'm wanting. But we've already done the heel thing. We've
Mhm.
done the heel thing for a hot minute. Is it time for a babyface? Gage, look, I love Nick Gage.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I mean, the
Uh,
only other one, unless they do like because Rena's still the Ultraviolet champion, they
right.
could do like a title for title match or something with Rena.
What about is Jordan gonna keep the Jacob championship through the next tournament? Do we
Mm.
do something with Jordan?
Yeah, JCW has a big. We'll get to Mania weekend later on, but they have a
Right.
big show coming up Mania weekend, so I could see Jordan losing the title there, and then
Because
from there you do something.
it seems like maybe time for him,
Yeah.
maybe,
Yep.
with that title. I could be wrong, but I don't know. There could be some sort of Jordan Oliver way. Uh,
They need like another top face
I agree.
to
I
go
agree.
for Blake,
Yes.
whether it's a
Eh,
Jordan Oliver or somebody like that.
eh, eh, with the faces, it's hard to get bigger than Jordan.
Mhm.
Really in GCW, unless you do one of the women,
Right.
an alley or something like that.
Hmm.
Anyway, where were we at?
We the last thing we mentioned was Blake Christian beating the bejesus out of
Right.
Santa Claus.
Out of Santa
So
Claus, of course.
now we go to December 30th and the Nick Gage Invitational.
Right.
There's a lot of words here, so bear with me.
It's so many.
In
Yes.
the opening round, we had a ultraviolet jungle of death three-way as Masha Slamovich defeated Emerson Jane and Risa Serra. We had a barbed wire warfare three-way death match as John Wayne Murdoch defeated Jacob Fatu and Jimmy Lloyd. A city glass what is city glass? A city glass death match. Is that different than suburb glass? Miedo Extremo defeated Shane Mercer. A boards of brutality death match as Valento Jack defeated Cyclope. All these names are very good, especially this one. Doorway to Destruction death in the semifinal as John Wayne Murdoch defeated Masha Slamovich. In the other semifinal, we had Escalera de la Muerte as Miedo Extremo defeated Valento Jack. We then had a six-way scramble, which is the most normal match on this show,
Mhm.
as Jordan Oliver beat Cole Radrick, Gringo Loco, Joey Janela, Mike Bailey, and Mr. Danger. And in the main event, a glass ceiling 2.0 death match, Miedo Extremo defeated John Wayne Murdoch to earn a title shot the next night. That was a lot.
It was so much. I watched this today,
Hmm.
when I was going through matches. Um, every match being a death match is very much a Jenny,
Hmm.
show, and the way that they made them all so different. You named them all, right?
Hmm.
And they built them to kinda differentiate, I can't say the word, but anyway, to make them different and to, uh, like, put a different kinda spin on each match, so
Hmm.
during the tournament, you weren't getting burned out.
Right.
That being said, there were so many light tubes, but there were so many cool spots during the
Hmm.
entire tournament. They did they built things, like,
Yep.
they made things out of bundles of light tubes, and then they incorporated other things into light tubes. They did panes of glass. They went vertical. They had, like, scaffolding
Hmm.
towards the end of the, towards the, on the finale of that, and every match just built and built and built in this beautiful and destructive way. It
Hmm.
was a deathmatch dream. Look, if you want blood, if you want glass, if you want pizza cut, I mean, every gross ass thing you can think that can cut somebody's face open,
Hmm.
they used it. And for me, it was wonderful. And then you add in that six-way scramble. That's all my favorite guys. Jordan
Yep.
Oliver, Cole Radrick, Gringo Loco, Joey Janelli, Mike Bailey. Oh my God.
Right.
All those dudes in one match. It was nonstop, just marking out for 12
Yep.
minutes on that match. Like, this was a great show if you are a deathmatch fan.
Yeah, it was a hell of a show. It's the way they're able to just find new and different ways to
Yes.
bludgeon the shit out of somebody with some form of glass item. It's fucking impressive. Like, yeah, we'll talk about in the next show. We're going to talk about some of the stuff they did in that match too. Was crazy with like the using the fucking trellises and whatnot. But
Yes.
I mean, it's the way, like, anybody can hit anybody with a light tube when it comes to this stuff, right? But the thing that makes it different is how they use it and how they do like different shit with it, whether it's like jabbing it in someone's forehead or their chest, or it's just it's different, it's unique. And I think
Mhm.
this crew that was in this tournament, I think, is the cream of the crop as far as deathmatch guys go right now. And I mean,
Mhm.
obviously you have Nick Gage and Jun Kasai, which we'll talk about, and there's other ones, but I mean, you'd be hard pressed to find a more stacked deathmatch tournament than this right now. What did you think about the winner?
I was excited about the winner.
Mhm.
I honestly thought it was going to be Murdoch, big time.
Yeah, so did I.
Could not believe Murdoch lost it, but look, Extremo earned that shit.
Hmm.
He earned it. He was excellent in all of his matches. Um, but the ladies showed up too that first
Yeah.
round. The three-way, Emerson, Jane, and Risa Sarah, they were going for it. Boy, it was such a beautiful, like, destructive first
Yep.
round with the ladies, and I love Masha winning that and moving on in the tournament. But I I'm not mad at the winner. I think it was a great
Hmm.
choice based on his performance in the tourney.
Yeah, I would agree. Masha was great in this. Like, you almost forget that besides her being a great wrestler too, oh, she's also a great deathmatch wrestler
She
too.
sure
Besides,
is.
so it's kind of that, like, I feel like the deathmatch or her deathmatch style kind of goes under the radar a lot.
I would
But
agree with that.
yeah, super fun show, hell of a turn. This tournament, the ones that I have seen have all delivered. So, and this was no exception. So, really fun show here.
I will also add, if you want to watch the show, they put in the top 25 moments
Hmm.
of GC. I don't know if they made. Did they do it over the 2 nights where they showed all the moments?
They did some on the
Okay,
next show too. Yeah.
right. So, this and the next show have these amazing video packages of
Hmm.
moments that have happened over the past year for GCW, and look, I saw me in one of them, and the Matt Hardy clip was
Hmm.
great. They showed Blake Christian winning. They showed Jordan and Nick Wayne winning
Hmm.
the tag team championships. It was a beautiful display of ultimate highlight
Yep.
moments of GCW. So, like, even if you're not like a huge deathmatch fan, just watch this in the next show for the cool ass
Yep.
countdown of great GCW moments.
I think they put some of those clips on their YouTube channel too, if I
I hope
remember
they did
right.
because they
So
were amazing. Like
yeah, yeah.
I was getting a little bit, you know, misty about that Detroit show, my favorite
Hmm.
show of all time, and they showed Matt Hardy and or yeah, Jeff Hardy, um,
One of the
doing his
Hardys.
yeah, one of the Hardys. Oh, yeah. Um, so anyway, what's up next?
We go to New Year's Eve for Aftermath in this show, as we had the Violence is Forever defeated Wasted Youth to retain the tag titles. Leo Rush defeated Cole Radrick. The GCW Extreme title, which is a championship that probably hasn't been defended in 8 months. Joey
Mhm.
Janela defeated Emerson Jane. Speedball defeated Valento Jack. We had a death match as Charlie Evans defeated Risa Serra. In another death match, John Wade Murdoch defeated Daiju Wakamatsu. I think, if I remember right, he was supposed to be in the tournament, but his flight got delayed. It was something like
Aw,
that.
lame.
The GCW World Championship match, Blake Christian with Shane Mercer defeated Miedo Extremo with Ciclope. Mance Warner won the Do or Die Rumble, which had 50 people in it. I'm not going to
Yeah,
name all of them.
yeah,
If
don't
they're
do
in
that.
GCW, they were in the match. So
Pretty much.
basically, and then the main event, Jun Kasai defeated Nick Gage in the mother of all death matches.
Uh-huh.
So, what did you think of this show, Jenny?
I'll save my comments on that main event, But I watched. Oh, the reason that the Extreme title has not been defended is because it was lost. Is that
Hmm.
right?
Hmm.
So
That is correct.
Joey Janela just randomly shows up to this show with the belt,
Look, I
right?
found it. Here it
Yeah,
is.
I got it. It's been missing this
Was
whole
in the
time.
last place I looked.
If that belt could talk, Maddie,
Oh
what
God.
might it say?
Uh, it would be in therapy.
Yeah,
I think
that belt needs help.
so much jizz. I mean,
Also, we totally forgot that he even had that belt, right?
I don't
What
remember
is the
being.
Extreme title?
I
We
don't
didn't even
remember
know
it
that
being a
happened.
thing. I
We
don't
didn't even
remember
know.
it.
And then he shows up with it, and then we're like, "Yay, defended the title!"
Right, that belt that I totally remembered existed, and yeah.
I'm sorry. That
What
just
belt
makes me
is
so
what
happy.
belt?
It's just so funny and dumb and stupid that I love it. And so
I'm watching the show. I'm like, what fucking belt is that? Oh God, right.
oh, right. That happened a long time ago. So also the match that I watched from this Leah Rush and Cole Radrick.
Hmm.
I love it. I mean, they're so evenly matched, and the pacing is outrageous with
Yep.
those two. Cole, I thought, looked very slim, and
Hmm.
he he was on his shit. He was on point.
Yep.
Great battle between those two. A very cool sort of cruiserweight match.
Yep.
Did you
Uh,
watch anything else on this?
So let's talk about Mance Warner here.
Okay,
So to win the Do or Die Rumble, it looked like Effy was going to win it. In fact, he was the last man in the ring.
right.
And then all of a sudden, my God, wouldn't you know it? There was a one more participant who hadn't been announced, and it was Mance Warner, and
Uh-oh.
he immediately dumped Effy and won the match. So
Ah, perfect.
this now means that Mance Warner has a title shot in his back pocket for winning this battle royal. So, what I think, or my idea here is to kind of, if you want to get the title on Mance Warner, let's say that's the ultimate goal here, right? I think you do something similar to what they did with Blake Christian last year.
Mhm.
You have some sort of title match, call it like a Blake Christian and Nick Gage. I'm just throwing it out there.
Mhm.
Then you have Gage win the title, and then you have Mance Warner come out and immediately challenge Gage to a title match, and then Mance Warner beats Gage. That would set up Mance Warner as being the ultra heel to end all ultra heels for GCW, I think.
Ooh, double heel.
Mhm.
Okay.
You have him turn on Effy, you have him turn on Gage or go after Gage, and
Go
then
after Gage.
that way you don't have to you don't have to do a weird like heel title match where you have Mance Warner and
Right.
Blake Christian. I think that would be a way to do it.
So you need some sort of, I mean, is the number one contendership, is that enough to just do that? Or do we need something else? Do we need a step
So
in
the
between?
way they did, because Blake won the Do or Die Rumble last year,
Right. And that's when he got his shot.
and the way they did it, it was almost like it was a Money in the Bank type of
Kind of
deal.
like that, yes.
Yeah. So if they stick to that, like, then I think that could be a way to do it. I
I
mean,
mean,
it could very well be that Mance Warner gets like a title shot, but I think if you want to make him like a huge shitbag, you like Blake Christian, you just kind of have him do the Blake Christian thing again.
but yeah, I don't, I just feel like maybe we just done that,
Right.
with Blake and doing the exact same route. I could see it. I mean, I could see how it would work,
Hmm.
but then I'm going, what's he gonna do?
Right.
I don't know. His heat is a little bit different than Blake's because it's not fully there yet. Because there's still people that cheer him.
Right.
Of course, I'm the idiot that's cheering Blake, but maybe so. I don't hate that. I just feel like we've done it
Hmm. I just think I feel like Mance Warner isn't going to face Blake Christian for the title. I feel like either you have to do that or you have to get the title off of Blake
first,
first to a
right?
face.
Right.
because I feel like heel kind of would have like a weird dynamic to it.
Do we feel that same pressure in booking? Like Mania weekends coming up, Joey Janela spring breaks coming up,
Mhm.
those big shows. Are we saving that for a title switch, or do we not feel that pressure in GCW? We can do whatever we want here.
I mean, I will say, look, Blake has been great, but it does feel like we're getting towards the end of his run
I agree.
here. So, but at the same time, I feel like they don't have somebody great right now to beat him.
I agree.
So they're in an interesting spot as far as what they can do here.
Hmm.
Because I feel like it's getting close to being time to take the title off of Blake, as great as he's been, and he's been great. He's been an awesome shitbag heel, but I feel like it feels like we're kind of at a point with him now where he's kind of just defending the title against anybody, really.
Anyone like
And
Santa Claus?
like Santa Claus, for instance.
I
And
don't know if
there's
that was a title match or not, but I assume it was.
it was. Santa
It
had a
was
chance. Santa
okay.
had a chance to take his title back to the North Pole with with Mrs. Claus and the reindeer and everything. That would have been a hell of a thing.
Right.
But I feel like Blake hasn't had a huge title match in a while either. So maybe that's part of it too. I don't know. I think the next couple of months before we get to Mania weekend, like you mentioned, I think it's going to be very interesting to see what ends up happening with that title.
I'm just curious about the timeline of it all, like how it does GCW feel so tied in to those, Rumbles, Manias,
Right.
SummerSlams, do they feel that sort of pressure to do something like a title change, something big?
Well, I feel like the spring break show, a lot of times they don't even have a title match on them. Like, I don't think last year's had one.
Oh God, who remembers?
I could look it up.
Yeah, we could. But yeah, that's super interesting.
Let me, if I may,
Mhm.
allow me to gush over the
Do
main
it.
event, much like the blood gushed all over the fucking mat for this match. Holy shit, did these two guys beat the hell out of each other for 20 minutes. Nick Gage was just caked in blood by the end of it. Jun Kasai, much the same. His scars were bleeding, for God's sake. At one point, there was a literal cloud over the ring of light tube dust that was just hanging over the ring because they had smashed each other with so many light tubes over the course of this match. So
Mhm.
if you're a deathmatch fan, you have to watch this. You are doing yourself a disservice if you don't watch it, I'll say, because it was insane and a hell of a way to ring in the new year, because that match I think ended after midnight on New Year's Day. So that's how I started my new year, was by drinking and watching that. So
I will save my thoughts for later.
Mhm.
And let's get to the next round of notes we got.
We go to January 12th, the new year. No compadre in Chicago, as we had Violence is Forever defending the titles against Bang and Matthews. SG Bussy defeating Team Broski of Broski Jimmy, Colt Cabana, and Steph DeLander. Joey Janela defeated Myron Reed. The Bullet Club War Dogs, which is Alex Coughlin and Gabe Kidd, beat Los Macisos. Nick fucking Wayne defeated Leo Rush.
Yeah, he did.
Arez, Demonic Flamita, and Latigo defeated Aramis, Cole Radrick, and Oni El Bandito. Bandito? Well, let's go with that. Blake Christian defended the world title against Calvin Tankman. We had Shane Mercer winning a scramble against Alec Price, Braden Toon, Golden Dragon, Joshua Bishop, Microman, and Paro. Rina Yamashita defended the Ultra-Violent title successfully against John Wayne Murdoch. Dan the Dad and Mance Warner fought to a no contest. And in the main event, Mustafa Ali defeated Gringo Loco.
All right, so this was the one where everybody's flights got fucked up, right? And some people couldn't get in
Yep.
for weather reasons.
Yep, including Matt Cardona himself.
Matt Cardona. So we had a couple of changes to the card, and then we had some surprises, and then people that we didn't think we would get, we ended up getting. So I need to talk about the Nick Wayne and Leo Rush match, because that shit was fire. I thought that Cole Radrick and Leo Rush were perfectly paired in the previous match that we talked about, but boy, Nick Wayne,
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen him in a hot minute because look, I don't watch AEW,
Mm-hmm.
and he's been gone, and I loved seeing him here in the spot in this crazy put together match. They fucking brought it. It was
Yep.
great. It was fire. It was wonderful. It was Nick Wayne. I love this match. Um, and look, this whole card ended up really being really good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Despite the enormous spotlight that they had on the match.
I was
That was
getting Hartford flashbacks from
a
the show I went
little bit
to,
bright
but
there. I will say, look, Mustafa Ali, I've never been the biggest fan of, but
Mhm.
I was looking forward to that match with Gringo Loco because I love Gringo Loco. And there was a big respect factor. Like, you could really tell that that was a, an issue during the match. To me, it didn't hit. To
Mhm.
me, it was missing something. And
Yeah.
to me, it's not an Ali, it's not a Gringo Loco issue,
Right.
if I'll say that.
Mhm.
Gringo was amazing in the match. Ali, not up to par for me in GCW. And I said what I said.
So the interesting thing about this show too, like you mentioned, this was when the entire fucking country it seemed like was getting hit by a snowstorm. But I think Brett Lauderdale at one point said it looked like earlier in the day there was going to be like 10 guys missing this show.
Mhm.
So like if that happened, what the fuck does this card look like?
Exactly.
But I think it only ended up being like 2 or 3 guys, so they got lucky there. Good to see Nick Wayne back. Please stick around because
Yes,
my
sir.
my God, you need to do more AEW things. Hopefully we'll see him in
Well,
Philly. Hopefully we'll see him in Philly because
yeah.
that would be good. But yeah, this was a fun show. I liked. This is a weird like. I'm one of these fucking weirdos who likes to look at the buildings. Like I thought the building here was really cool, was the right
Mhm.
kind of dingy. Like there's literally paint peeling on the fucking walls of
Mhm.
this place and whatnot. So
Mhm.
it's just a cool look. So yeah, really fun show here. Rena and John Wayne Murdoch was fun. They used a gusset plate laden door,
Ooh.
which probably hurt like hell. So, and we also got a brawl here, which is why the Mance Warner Dan the Dad match went to a no contest as Mance and Effy had a bit of a brawl, and Mance almost threw Effy off the balcony. He did not succeed, but that was a hell of a thing. So those two guys are going to come to blows at some point, and that point we will mention later on in this show.
Another good development in that
Mm-hmm.
feud. So
Mm-hmm.
some of that storytelling we got going on. Okay, what do we got for our next show?
We go to January 13th and 56 Birds, which is birds.
Birds.
Birds spelt with a Z in
They're
Columbus.
hardcore birds.
Right, those are hardcore birds. Those birds use bird light tubes.
Mhm.
Columbus, Ohio, a three-way for the bird light tubes for the GCW tag title. Violence is Forever defeated Bang and Matthews and the Rejects. Oni El Bendito beat Jack Cartwheel. Rich and Powerful of Charles Mason and Richard Holiday defeated PME, which is Marino Tenagila and Philly Collins, who's I think Philly Collins is the cousin of Pittsburgh Williams. Broski Jimmy defeated Manders. Los Macisos and Rina Yamashita defeated Alec Price, Braden Toon, and Dante Leone. Myron Reed defeated Leo Rush. The Extreme title as Joey Janela defeated Microman. Joshua Bishop beat Hoodfoot, and in the main event, Jonathan Gresham beat Cole Radrick. Now, I did not get a chance to watch this show, so
Me either, sadly.
I did see clips of Joey Janela beating up
Yes.
Microman on Twitter. That poor little person. My God.
What are your thoughts on that?
I mean, first of all, we didn't remember the Extreme title was a thing. So if the Extreme title is going to be used for these type of like weird fucking matches, because this is a weird match on paper, like I'm all for it. So like I think there's a place in GCW for like a championship like that. That's just kind of like matches you wouldn't necessarily want to see or need to see type of thing. Just weird stuff,
With Joey Janela. I mean, he's
Right.
the perfect person to have that belt and to have those matches.
Right.
Look, I'm not mad at it. Of course, I think that there was a level of respect that the fans showed,
Mhm.
and which they do. They do with a lot of these sort of weird gimmick sort of matches,
Mhm.
and it's fun. It's really fun.
Yep.
And I recently saw a tweet, and it was talking about how the person thought that GCW was interesting because the live shows seem really fun and people seem into them, but then they don't remember anything that happens, and there seems to be no stakes, sort of
Mhm.
basically. And I, I just wished I was a better writer or something. I wish there was a way that I could like explain GCW in a way that a wrestling fan might understand. Does that make sense? Like, do you
Mhm.
find it hard to put it into words? I just thought that was like a very interesting tweet.
Yeah, I don't know if it's hard to put into words. I don't know if I'd necessarily like. I don't think that. I mean, it's a wrestling company. It's wrestling. Like, I mean, I don't understand. Like, was the person basically saying that they didn't get like what they were going for,
They were
or?
they it was basically like it seems like, they're like if I were to watch a show, I wouldn't remember anything that happened on it, and
Hmm.
that the fans seem to really like going to the live events, but then they never hear anything about it. Nobody talks about it afterwards. Um,
Hmm.
so it seems sort of low stakes.
I don't know if that's the case. I mean,
I kind of felt that way too. I'm like, yeah. And I was like, well, I didn't want to like plug my show and be like, I have a podcast that talks
right.
about this. But I wanted to like put it into a way that might make them understand, and I still feel like I didn't. Um,
I
but I don't
wonder
know.
if I wonder if this like random tweeter is someone who really enjoys like the storyline stuff in wrestling.
I think it might be, and
Yeah,
I'm
which is
it's like
fine. I mean, I'm not knocking that,
right.
but
That's what I'm saying. Like I get that, and I like we've talked about them trying to incorporate more of that
mhm,
stuff. Um, and I don't mind it. I really
right,
don't. To me, it's fine to just see a series of cool ass matches that
right,
don't mean quote unquote mean anything in the
right.
greater because to me I want to be in the moment
Mhm,
in the thing, and I don't want to have to remember 8 weeks of storyline,
right,
to
exactly. Yeah,
remind me what this means when it could just mean these two balling out and having this
right,
match.
right. That's exactly right. Like, why are these two wrestling each other? Because it's gonna be a
'Cause
cool
it's
fucking
fucking fun.
match. That's why.
That's what I wanted to say, 'cause it's
Yeah,
fucking fun,
yeah,
but then I was like, I need to be able to explain that, and I
right.
was like,
I need to not yell at this poor man
I
who's
need to
tweeting
tell
his
them, I was
opinion.
like well, then I'm like, I love blood, I love guts, I love, like,
Yeah.
gross shit, and not everybody responds to that
Mhm.
in the same way that I do. Oddly enough, I can't imagine, but,
Right.
um, anyway.
So the other thing, just quick about this show
Mhm.
was, I think this was the second show that Andrade Idolo was supposed to be on. He was supposed
Mm.
to wrestle Gresham in the main event, and I don't know if he had some sort of flight trouble or something, but obviously he wasn't there, and Cole Radrick was. So Cole got the main event spot. So take that,
Fuck
Andrade.
yeah, let's go, and who deserves it more?
Right.
Not a lot of people.
Hmm.
Alright. Here we go. We care a lot about these matches. Maddie.
Mm-hmm.
An hour into the show, we're down to our picks of the month. What'd you go with?
Well, I've already gushed about it. Jun Kasai versus Nick Gage
Yes, sir.
was unfucking believable.
It was amazing.
Please go watch it, because good lord, I mean, just insane stuff.
Like, same. I mean,
Mhm.
spoilers, but same. Uh, Nick does something that nobody else does.
Mhm.
He brings, and then Jun Kasai I've never seen before, but holy fucking shit. The aesthetic of this man, his face,
Mhm.
he looks scary. He looks like he will do anything, and Nick does too. It's just two dudes that will do fucking anything in the ring. Like, when you say no holds barred, I mean,
Yeah.
it's on another level, the
Mhm.
way that they did this match. It was non-stop violence, like you said, a cloud hanging over the ring, um, of just non-stop light tubes, all the weapons. What were some of the other weapons we saw?
We had Jun Kasai at one point pulled out a knife and just
What was that?
it looked like a butcher, like a cleaver of some sort.
Cleaver is a great word.
Yeah.
And he just skinned Nick's face with it.
Mhm.
Like, I know. Not a lot of people are into this, but for me, this is just it.
You had that. You had the stuff with like the garden trusses with the light
Oh my
tubes
god.
in
Oh my
between it.
god.
They made that bridge.
The
You
bridge.
had Gage putting himself through plate glass that Jun Kasai was on in between, like two. It was
Yes.
a plate glass sandwich, basically. It's
They
for lack
built
of a
shit. It was
yeah,
like industrial and like
yeah,
architectural. Like
yeah. Really?
it was like
Where's the blueprints for all
it
these
was,
fucking light tubes?
it was they did. They had to
Yeah,
draw fucking blueprints for light tubes for this match. And oh my god, it kept going on and on. I thought, "There's no way Nick Gage can go this much longer," but he just kept going. They both just kept going.
I like the touch too of Gage grabbing that jersey from the fan, the white jersey with all the blood was just perfect.
Boy, I was losing my mind. This was excellent, and
Hmm.
I cannot stress enough how awesome it was, and how it felt like such a big deal.
Yep.
I don't know that we'll get this match ever again, or
For Gage's sake, I hope not, because he looked like he was about to die
it just
by
looked
the
like
end of it.
a absolute, just a dream match, really.
Yeah,
And that's saying, who somebody's never even heard of Jun Kasai. So, like,
right.
what do I know? But just watching it felt like it.
Yep.
You even though it's just like gross and stuff, you can still feel things. You can still have big feelings and big emotions
Hmm.
during these death matches. Um, it was incredible. Um, and I feel like we need a cigarette after that.
Yeah.
I'm an outlaw. Quick on the draw. Something you never seen before.
You're an outlaw, Maddie.
I've always said that and heard
I
that
know. I've
about
always known that
myself.
about you.
Yeah, I got a 6-shooter right here. As a matter of fact, 10 paces east, they say.
All right, so we got upcoming shows to talk about.
Mm-hmm. The
Uh,
first one we have here, we go to, I believe, the 26th. This is Rumble weekend, correct?
Sure
All right.
is.
We have Look at Me in Tampa
I
as
see you.
all Well, that's the name of the show.
There you are.
The
Oh.
name of the name of the show is Look at Me. Look at Me in Tampa on January the 26th. Jacob and Zilla Fatu will face the main event. Zilla Fatu, I believe, is Umaga's kid, if I remember right. Mm-hmm.
Zilla Fatu is a great name.
It really is. So that should be cool to see. We have a 4-way women's match. Dark Sheik, Lindsay Snow, Maki Ito, and Allie Catch. That should be something. Leo Rush and Jack Cartwheel. That should also be something. Holy Moses. Joey Janela versus AJ Francis. I believe AJ Francis is top dollar, I think.
Oh, dollar bills.
Yes. On this we will have the much ballyhooed Mance Warner versus Effy will happen on this show. Tony Deppen will face Mansoor or Mansoor, whatever you want to call him, from whatever group he was in WWE. I can't remember the name of it. And in the main event, Blake Christian will defend the world title against Sawyer Wreck.
Oh, you mean huge babyface Sawyer Wreck?
Oh.
What about a little tiny little run for Sawyer Wreck?
See, now I didn't think of that. That would be interesting. That could work.
I'm totally into that. I think a lot of people will be into that.
That could work. Yeah, I didn't. Shame on me. I didn't even think of her.
Shame on you, Maddie.
Look at me. Shame on me. God, yeah, that would work though. That would be good. Oh God. We go to the next day. Effy's Big Gay Brunch 8 in Tampa, as Paro will meet Karam. The Runway. I'm not going to know most of these people. I'm just going to say that up front. Calvin Couture and Tyler Klein will face Creeps in all caps, which is Andy Ripley and Irving West. Keita Murray. I'm assuming that's Keita. It could be Keith, and it's a typo on my part. But Keita Murray will face Noah Vale. Dark Sheik versus Shay Monet. That's a great name. Jai Vidal versus Rico Gonzalez. Bussy of Alley Catch and Effy will face MXM of Mansoor and Mace Madden. Billy Dixon will face Maid Kira, which is Akira in drag, I believe. And Sawyer Wreck will face Lindsay Snow. Hey, maybe that'll be for the world title.
Sawyer Wreck in the main event again?
Yeah. My God, your theory might be a thing that's going to happen. Look at that.
Maybe. We'll see. Yeah. Also, I think it's sad that they don't get to actually eat brunch during Effy's Big Gay Brunch.
You know, if you're going to call it brunch, you should have brunch.
And mimosas at the very least.
Yeah, but like pancakes, waffles.
They got to have some chicken and waffles, some mimosas, some hash browns.
A crepe station, maybe.
Something like that.
Yeah. It is a missed opportunity. Otherwise,
like our friend Tim says, the wrestling just goes on in the background while they eat brunch.
Right.
Right.
I don't hate that idea.
I don't either. I think that would be amazing.
That would be very funny. And then, hey, maybe they go over to the brunch tables and brawl over there, and the show ends in a food fight.
Big brunch brawl, like, come on now, that would be amazing.
Oh, the Crepe Crunch by Sawyer Wreck.
They got hot syrup all over everything.
He really waffled them there. Oh boy. I'm going to move on before I say another stupid pun. February 3rd, the Coldest Winter 2, back at the Ukrainian Cultural Center. Sue Young will face Santana Jackson. Now that's going to be something. Good Lord. Hammerstone will face Charles Mason. And the big match on this show, I'm assuming this is going to be the main event. Nick Nemeth, the former Dolph Ziggler, will face Matt Cardona in a match 10 years in the making. That should be, honestly, that'll be pretty cool to see those two go at it in GCW. And we will also have Blake Christian defending the world title against Dark Sheik.
Allegedly. But
right.
The Matt Cardona match is so fucking cool. Like, and also, I wonder how much of me is a mark and is like, Matt was just kind of pushing for this match on social media, and then it came to pass. Like, really, that's not how it happens, right? Like, that was already made, and then Am I being weird for like wondering about that?
I mean, I feel like Cardona does have a lot of pull in GCW.
Also thought that. I was like, maybe he can just make matches on social and then it comes to pass. But then
Yeah,
I'm like, am I crazy in thinking that?
it could be a thing where maybe like the order of operations is a little bit different. Like he went to whoever backstage and said, "I want this match." They said okay, and then he started teasing it on Twitter like that. I could see that maybe being a thing too. But
look, Nick is on TNA. Is that right?
yeah, he just showed up there too.
Now that's wild, right? Like
Mhm.
already that's a thing. Already we're doing this.
Yeah.
But I'm so into it. Like I'm really into it. It's gonna be great.
I gotta be honest. Like I thought this was gonna be a match in Philly.
You would think it would be. It
Yeah.
seems a little early for it. It seems
Yeah.
like they could build to that a lot
Mhm.
more.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not even a month away.
I mean, unless it's a step one and what's going to be like a 3-month
That's what I was
feud.
thinking too, unless
But
they do something like that. But I don't
right.
know.
hmm
Um,
and I will also say, I don't know, have you seen Sue Young before?
I think in one other match I did.
Yeah, I was going to
Yeah.
say, if you haven't, I think you will enjoy her very much. She's right up your ass, especially with Santana Jackson. That could be something.
Yeah, that's gonna be really good. That whole
Yeah.
show's gonna be good. I
Yep.
feel like they'll add a lot of cool shows to that, Matt,
Yep.
or to that as well.
Then we go to Mesa, Arizona, their debut in Arizona. Feel No Ways is the name of
I
this
love
show.
to feel no ways about
Yeah.
anything.
I hear you. Deathmatch Royalty, Broski Jimmy, Matt Cardona, Steph DeLander versus Insane Clown Thrussie. We've moved up from Insane Clown Bussy. Now we have Insane Clown Thrussie, Alley Catch, Dark Sheik, and Violent J of the Insane Clown Posse. Returning to GCW. My
I'm
God.
sorry, that sounds amazing. All of that sounds
Yep.
amazing. That's
Yep.
so many of my favorite people in the same match.
All in on that. And
Yes, please.
Hammerstone will face Richard Holiday. So that's it for that so far. But honestly, that you only need one match on this show.
That one. Yes.
It's that first one. So it's going to be a hell of a thing. And then we have the second annual Jersey J Cup in Jersey City coming up on February 9th and 10th. The brackets have not been announced yet, but the participants have Jordan Oliver, Masha Slamovich, Alec Price, Man Like Duress, Jonathan Gresham, Speedball, Billy Starks, Rena Yamashita, Jack Cartwheel, and Nick fucking Wayne. So,
all right. So look, February 8th is the 1-year anniversary of our podcast here. And so we got a little bit of time coming up, but the J Cup was pretty much when we started. You know, I remember watching the J Cup. We fill out our brackets for that. Do we feel that Jordan Oliver retains?
I feel like it's tough.
It is tough.
This is a stacked fucking lineup. I mean,
I feel Mike Bailey a little bit. I feel Rena a little bit. Nick Wayne, I don't, because
he's got too much other stuff going on.
Yeah. But then again, to me, Jordan is still top tier of those options.
I feel like Masha doesn't need it.
I don't think so either.
Rena doesn't. I don't think Rena really needs it. Speedball doesn't really need it.
No.
I could see an Alec Price winning it.
Oh,
to give him a boost, or even although Billy Starks has, I think she's got like ROH stuff. She's in ROH. I think.
Okay.
So I mean, I'm leaning towards it being Alec Price.
Okay.
Or Jordan Oliver.
Jordan retaining
for the second year in a row.
With the way that I do like him with that championship. I could see him with a world championship run for GCW. Yeah. So, but maybe still a little early for that. So maybe we hold off on that. I don't know.
Yeah. If it's anything like last year, it's going to be real. I mean, last year's show was...
The J Cup was so good.
It was great.
We loved it last year. So I'm so looking forward to that.
Yep. And it's going to be interesting to see Rena in
Mhm.
this type of setting too. Just the non-deathmatch type of thing.
Right. Yes.
So that's going to be
Well,
super
she
interesting.
can go regardless.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
100%. But
Yeah.
and then the big news, as we have shows announced for the collective in Philly, which is April 4th through April 6th. I'm going to rattle all 4, 8, 9 to 11 shows here. I'll rattle them all off. Thursday, April 4th, 11 a.m. We have Defy Wrestling, which is a West Coast promotion. I think they're out of Seattle. Nick Wayne wrestles there a lot. That's all I know about them. 4 p.m. on Thursday, we have Bloodsport 10, which is Bloodsport is their MMA type of show. They take the
Mhm.
ring ropes down and basically they
Mm.
just beat the fuck out of each other for realsies with punches. So that's always a fun show. 8 p.m. Thursday, we have DDT Pro Wrestling running a show. The DDT show last year was one of my favorite shows of the weekend. So looking forward to that. And then we have Jersey Championship Wrestling running a show at 11:59 on Thursday. So 4 shows on Thursday. Friday at 11, we have Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. 3 p.m. Friday, we have Progress Wrestling. 7 p.m. Friday, the show that we will be at, Joey Janela's Spring Break number 8. And Friday, April 5th, we have For the Culture, and that'll be at 11:59 p.m. And then the last day of it, Saturday, April 6th, we have Effy's Big Gay Brunch 9 at 11 a.m. Maybe this time they'll have food there. 2:30 on Saturday, we have GCW versus Tokyo Joshi Pro Wrestling. That's at 2:30. And then at 11:59 p.m. on Saturday, Joey Janela's Spring Break Part 2 Cluster Fuck Forever. So that is a lot of
Well,
shit.
it is. It is. And I'm so happy that I will be with you front
Mm-hmm.
row at
Mm-hmm.
Joey Janela Spring Break Part 1, at
Yep.
least. Um, a lot of the only other show really of that group that I would want to see, but I don't know that I'll get to go to, is Bloodsport, because I
Yep.
found it really interesting
Mm-hmm.
when I watched it last year.
Yeah,
But
that's
yeah,
always a super fun show.
I don't think any of those cards will disappoint. I think everything
Mhm.
will be lit
Oh yeah,
and
I mean,
amazing. So
if it's
just
anything
ready.
like last year's collective, I mean, the collective last year was great. The DDT stuff last year was fantastic, just super fun. So I'm glad that they're coming back. I'm glad that JCW is getting their own show. So presumably Jordan Oliver or whoever wins the tournament will be there defending the title. So that'll be
Mhm.
fun. So yeah, and the clusterfuck is look, it's literally a clusterfuck. It's usually like it's a 70-person battle royal
Mhm.
usually, and it's
Right.
ridiculous and a ton of fun. So yeah, a lot of good stuff coming up here in Philly.
Can't wait. I really
Mm-hmm.
can't. It's gonna be
Same.
awesome.
Yep.
Um. All right. Do we have anything else that we want to mention?
I believe that is it for me and my purposes. That's the word I'm looking for. Purposes here.
Porpoises.
Youthful porpoise. That was a Norm Macdonald joke.
It
Everybody.
sure was. Yes. Thank you for that. What do you got to plug then?
What do I have to plug? Right here on the North South Connection, you can find me and Jenny on the Extreme Three-Way Dance, where we cover ECW. We're getting ready to go into 1999, so that'll be a ton of fun. You can find me over on the Place to Be Nation wrestling feed on YouTube Roulette, where we live watch random matches from YouTube and just watch over them, shit on them. Mystery Science Theater style. So that's a ton of fun. And you can find the same crew from that show on Highway to the Impact Zone, where we live watch TNA Wrestling. We are just about to cover Bound for Glory 2006, which is a massive show for TNA. So check all that out. Find me on Twitter, X, whatever it's called this week, at MSouza1991.
And every Wednesday, you can find one of my shows right here on the North South Connection. One of them might be called Talking Docs, where we watch documentaries and review them, me and my friend Logan and Roger. Our last one was called Blackfish. So um, that was depressing. But look, a lot of these are because they're
Mhm.
documentaries. And A lot of them are not very happy. But anyway, that was a good episode. And also, you can hear me on the Extreme Three-Way Dance, like Maddie said, and even on stuff like Chronoso right here on Warsaw Connection. I'm on all the socials at Jenny Position, so follow me there, and we will see you next time. And thank you for listening, Gcdub super fans. We love you. Also, it's MDK.
All fucking day.
Yay, we remembered.